Good morning, everyone. New week, new headlines to peruse. Today, there is only one headline, but we'll get to it. There's might only be one headline, but there's a fair bit to be said about it. But anyway, good morning, folks. I see a few people in the audience. We'll have a look. So, hi, Alistair. Hi, Duncan McCretcher. Hi, Rosie. Hi, Stephen Bankier. Hi, Kirsty Hamilton, Lorna Shields, Scott Haynes, Jim Soralba, Indy Doc Mel, Martin the Hibby, Rosie McGregor, Mark Telfer, Peter M, George Docherty, Stephen Nichol, Linda D, Lorraine Logue, who's on the Irish coffee this morning. For Irish coffee, you require Irish whiskey. And I don't like that. I don't like that counterfeit product in my house. We've got Jeanette O'Fillon. Jeanette, how are you this morning? Barbara Lansden. Larry the Cat, how do? Folks, if you haven't seen Larry the Cat's AI animation of myself and the political slots that I've been doing on political ideologies and the Two Davies for the last 3 or 4 episodes, then pop on and have a look. Now, he's cut them and animated me on the socialism, liberalism, and fascism so far. No doubt he'll be animating the piece on neoliberalism as we speak, but they are very good, folks. So if you haven't seen them, go and watch them and give Sir Larry's channel a subscribe. Actually, quite clever stuff. Well done, Sir Larry. Who else we got? Last Braveheart. I think I've got almost everybody now. Hootsman. Good morning, Hootsman. Maria, how are you? I done the other way now. I'm great, thanks. And Gillian, as I say, the fat box hasn't been taken. If nobody's taking you up in the offer of that box by Friday, PM me and I'll take it. I'll make the donation. Because, folks, because I'm going to be only broadcasting once of the holiday season, it means there's going to be a massive loss to obviously the food bank fund, because you guys contribute in almost every show. So what I'll do is, Gillian, if that box hasn't gone, I'll take it. But more importantly, folks, I'll be sticking 100 quid of main money in to try and keep the numbers up so we can continue to help meaningfully. Okay. As I say, there is only one story this morning, so we'll get into it. All right. First up, though, the weather, because Davey does things differently here. On the BBC, you get the news, the sports, and the weather. Here you get the weather and the headlines. So the weather here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, is actually, it's not too bad. Light cloud, pretty high up, quite bright this morning. Warm as well at 7 degrees. Today's high will be 8 degrees. There is rain in the forecast, but will it rain? Probably. Okay, humidity is at 95%. It's pretty damp. Wind is just a light breeze at 3 to 9 miles an hour. And the pollen count doesn't count. So there you go. That's the weather here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. If you want to know what the weather's like where you are, look at your own bloody windy. All right. Now, first up this morning, we've got the answer. I don't put it up, so I'll tell you what it says. And it says, terrorists kill 15 in Oz Beach attack. Hero of Bondi. Horror. Dad tackles gunman as father and son target Jewish festival. Thank you, Alistair. Thank you. Now, we'll get a wee bit more into this in a minute. Right. Next up, we've got the scum. And the scum's got 15 murdered on Oz Beach. Bondi killers were dad and son. Jewish event targeted. Hero disarms fiend. Next up, we'll get the Daily Fuel. We'll put it up and then we'll get into this properly. And I mean properly. No, wrong one. Hero of Bondi Beach massacre. Hero of Bondi Beach massacre. Incredible courage of shopkeeper 43 who grabbed gun of terrorist and anti-Semitic rampage that killed 15 and injured 42. Well, folks, especially those in the Jewish community, I'm sorry to say that if you want to understand what happened in Bondi Beach, you have to go to the state of Israel. And you have to stare directly into the eyes of Benjamin Netanyahu. Because that is where the blame lies. Did Mr. Netanyahu and the Jewish people think they were so fucking exceptional that the families of displaced Palestinians and other Muslims who feel fidelity with the Palestinian people, did the Jewish people worldwide actually think this wasn't going to happen? The clue was in fucking Manchester. The game has just begun. The Jewish people are going to have to hide. And Orthodox Jews will be targeted the same as Zionist Jews, unfortunately. But if they want to know what brought this shame down on their heads, they have to look straight at the state of Israel and its dictator, Benjamin Netanyahu, the man who took the Jewish people from being their God's chosen children to the chosen children of Lucifer Morningstar, if you are a religious person and believe in that nonsense. But this is going to be an ongoing saga. And the Jewish people better get used to putting up outside their synagogues which ones are Zionist and which ones are Orthodox. I imagine everywhere on this planet right now, synagogues are firing the word Orthodox up in front of the word synagogue everywhere in the hope that they escape the inevitable repercussions of the genocide in Gaza. And we're only on the first fucking headline that I've put up. Next up, we've got the Looney Rag, the Express. And it's on the same, they're all on the same subject this morning, folks. The hero of Bondi Beach, at least 16 people die in horrific terrorist attack on Jewish festival. One brave bystander saves many lives. Well, you know what? Only the Jewish people will be so fucking stupid to hold a public festival on a beach after the environment that's been created by the monster in Israel. Did the Jewish people worldwide actually feel so exceptional in their place in the world that they didn't think that the displaced Palestinians and Muslims wouldn't be coming after them? I tell you, the warning was Manchester. The game has just begun. The repetitions have only just started. This will be a repeat story. The Jewish people, whether they be Zionist or Orthodox, will suffer the consequences of the people of Israel's actions. They will. And the innocent Jewish people around the world who are accessible to displaced Palestinians, they will feel the full wrath. They will feel the full wrath and anger of these people whose relatives have been wiped out en masse. Some would say it's righteous. I wouldn't. But I say it's understandable, expected. It is human nature. But if the Jewish people worldwide want to know why this is going to happen to them, they can look straight at Benjamin Netanyahu. The Eastern European Jew, kid unknown. He's from the Middle East, along with the rest of the Eastern European fucking Jews, squatting in Palestine, claiming to be of the Middle East. These repercussions were coming, and they will continue to, and innocent Jewish people worldwide will feel the wrath, and they better be ready to hide, because Netanyahu has painted a target on them. As if Netanyahu gives a fuck about the consequences for the wider Jewish people. Remember, the minority of the Jewish people live in Israel and follow that Zionist fucking doctrine. Let's speed this up. Next up, after the knuckle draggers rag the Express, we've got the Telegraph. It's on the same story. Well, we're supposed to be Telegraph. Let's try that again. That's it. The Telegraph. Hate and heroism on Bondi. The hate's been fostered by the people of Israel. Did the Jewish community really think there wouldn't be wider consequences for the actions of the blood-hungry monster squatting in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv? There was always going to be consequences. There was always going to be consequences. Always. Now, next up's the Times. What's the Times got for us this morning? I say it's on the one story, folks. And as you can probably tell, I'm finding it very difficult to sympathise. Hateful as this is being portrayed, and once again, the Jewish people are being portrayed as the victim rather than the instigator. In this case, Jewish people in Australia are victims, but the instigator of what is about to happen going forward, that would be the Jewish Zionist leader in Palestine, what they now call Israel, but it isn't Israel, it's Palestine. It's always been Palestine and always will be Palestine. Next up, after the Times, we'll get the Guardian, I believe. Oh no, it's a Scotsman. What's the Scotsman got for us this morning? Police patrol Jewish sites as world reels from attack. Police Scotland contact faith leaders after 15 killed in Bondi. Authorities say 2 gunmen involved were father and son. Well, let's sort this out for a start. There are no Jewish sites in Scotland. There are no Christian sites in Scotland. There are no Muslim sites in Scotland. There are no any site in Scotland belonging to any fucking religion. Scotland belongs to the Scots. These are just buildings being occupied by religious groups at any one time. There is no such thing as a Jewish site in Scotland. There is no such thing as a Christian site in Scotland. These are just places that are Scotland that have been occupied by a religious group or are currently occupied by a religious group. The land itself doesn't give a fuck who these people are or what their beliefs are. The land itself couldn't give a fuck who I am. The land is going to be here a fucking long time, no. So there are no Jewish sites, there's no Christian sites, there's fuck all, it's just a land. There might be a building on it being occupied by a particular religious group, but it's no their site. It's just another chunk of Scotland. Right, done with the Scotsman, and we'll see what we'll go next. After the Scotsman, we've got the Herald. Calls for reset to tackle child mental health emergency. They're talking about war, and the kids can't get themselves together. Mental health emergency. Last time I looked, CAMHS was meeting its deadlines. I'm afraid, being a gentleman of a certain age, I don't quite get it. But apparently it's there, and there needs to be studies into why it's there. So apparently we've got a mental health emergency amongst children. It's a bit of worry. If the next generation coming through are no stable. That's a bit of worry. Right. It's shot of the Herald. After the Herald, we have the Guardian. Once I find it. And we're back on Bondi Beach. At least 16 dead in terror attack on Jewish festival. As I say, only the Jewish people would be so bloody stupid to hold an outdoor festival in the climate that's been created by Benjamin Netanyahu. So, I care about mental health, Mel. To me, it's a worry. Mental health wasn't an issue when I was growing up. You were just eccentric, just another nutter. And a big melting pot of nutters. But now it seems to have categories of nutters. Right, as I say, at least 16 dead in terror attack in Jewish festivals. As I say, only the Jewish people will be daft enough and arrogant enough at this point in time to think that they could hold outdoor festivals freely. The mind boggles. They've just killed 70,000 Palestinians. The displaced Palestinians around the world and other people who sympathise with the Palestinians are going to take action. At the very least, Jewish people in the community will be scorned and they will be ignored. At the very worst, there'll be more Bondi beaches. And as I said, synagogues everywhere right now will be throwing up the word Orthodox outside them to try and protect the worshippers because of the situation that Netanyahu has created, from God's chosen to Satan's handmaidens. And they can thank Netanyahu for that. So let's get rid of the Guardian. Next up, we've got Metro. The Metro's concentrating on the gentleman who disarmed one of these gunsmen, and it's the hero of Bondi Beach massacre. And it was a Muslim shopkeeper, aged 43. And that will be a repeat story as well. It will be our Muslim brothers and sisters who will step up and try and stop their other Muslim brothers and sisters from taking such revenge. So it will. But the revenge was always going to happen. There are displaced Palestinian people all over the world who have lost their whole fucking families. There are now blood feuds going on, or there will be blood feuds going on against the Jewish people all over the world. Especially as Netanyahu likes to throw about the word blood liable. Well, there are hundreds of thousands of Palestinians displaced around this world who will be entering into blood feuds. This is just the start. Manchester was the warning, but it would appear the Jewish people didn't heed that warning. Next up, we'll get a national. What's the national go for us this morning? Well, as usual, it's got multiple headlines on its front page. So let's get it up. A gentle, passionate 66-year-old will appear in court this week accused of being a terrorist. How did the UK become a place like this? Asked Tommy Shepherd. That's a good question, Tommy. I'll let you know when I get out of court, all right? Because this 58-year-old and his mate, the 68-year-old, may well be going through the same thing shortly. So we'll let you know how we go here. And question time era apology is not good enough. Now, this is going to do with racism, folks, and of course, Nigel Farage and his alleged culture smashing that's going on in Glasgow, because 1 in 3 of the children are bilingual. But the BBC put a caption up saying that they didn't speak English fluently, which isn't the truth. I speak a couple of languages, and I don't speak English fluently. In fact, English isn't even a recognised language here in Scotland. In Scotland, we speak Scots and Gaelic. They're the recognised languages. Fuck's sake. But the BBC knew what they were doing. They were whipping up right-wing fucking hatred. And they're playing similar games to Netanyahu. They are playing divide and rule. But Netanyahu's divided a whole people for the rest of the world. A whole people. Because whether we like it or no, in the back of our heads, our trust in the Jewish people has been greatly diminished by the behaviour of the European Jews squatting in Palestine. Because that's who they are. Let's no fucking mince words here. They are a European sect of a religion squatting in fucking Palestine. No Israel. It was never Israel. It's always been Palestine. Always will be fucking Palestine. And Swinney, message of solidarity after Bondi Beach attack. Well, you know, we can feel solidarity with the Jewish people. We can feel sympathy for these particular people because they probably have nothing to do with the behaviour of the European Jews in Israel. Sorry, in Palestine. But John wants to stand in solidarity with them. Good for him. We're going to have to show them some solidarity because at this point in time, the Jews are muck. They're less than muck thanks to Netanyahu. Or Mr. Milakolski, I think his fucking family name was. Milakolski. Let's just call him who he is. Benjamin Milakolski. I think that's how it's pronounced. I think he's of Polish descent. Maybe Ukrainian, no sure. But Eastern Europe anyway, they're all Eastern European Jews squatting in Palestine. Kidding on that it's their land. Right, that's the National. Let's get this done so that young Reagan Elite can get his programme started. As I say, folks, this was inevitable. This was inevitable. Thank you very much, Kirsty. And if I've missed any this morning, folks, please excuse me. But there's a lot of yous making a lot of comments, and there's only one set of eyes here. Right, let's get this over with so young Reagan Elite can go on with his programme. No doubt he'll be talking about the unfortunate events on Bondi Beach. But as I say, this was inevitable. And it's only just begun. There are so many displaced, angry Palestinian people out there whose families have been wiped out and whose families are continuing to be murdered. What's the Star got for us today? Well, the Star's covering the same story as most of the papers. 15 killed as dad and son attack Jewish festival. Hero of Bondi. Fearless shopkeeper disarms gunman and famed Aussie Beach. And one shooter dead, 42 victims in hospital. And the man is a hero. He saved a lot of lives. A lot of lives that should never have been put in danger. A lot of hatred's been created in the world by that muppet squatting in Palestine. But here, when we're seeing once again the Jewish people being painted as victims. Oh, there are 70,000 victims and counting of a genocide in Gaza. And to a lot of the world, especially their displaced families, the Jewish people are not the victims, they're the perpetrators. And as I say, this is a consequence of Netanyahu's actions. And it's not going to be the last time. The first time the warning shot happened in Manchester. Second horrific event has now happened in Australia. It will spread. It will spread. It's not the last time we'll hear about this sort of thing. Unless, of course, the mainstream media want to cover it up. But if you're Jewish, remember, keep the eyes in the back of your head open, because there's a lot of displaced, angry Palestinians out there. And you might think you're a victim, but today, Palestinian people, you're the perpetrator of an heinous crime. A heinous crime. The most heinous crime of all. Genocide. And for that, I'm afraid the Jewish people are going to have to fucking hide for years to come. Even the ones who are innocent. Right, that's it for this morning, folks. There isn't much more to say on that, except for there will be more of it, and Netanyahu's to blame. You guys look after yourself. Thanks for the super chats today, folks. Mind, Friday's the last one until the 3rd of January, except for the Christmas Day special. Don't miss the Christmas Day special if you're on your own. It will kick off 25th from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock because Daily Blase is going to be doing a Thursday Frolics on Christmas Day. You might even invite me on, you never know. Right, I'll catch you all later. See you in the morning. Oh no, we'll see you this afternoon. Bye for now.